Right Writers, Cruz here. Thank you so much for joining me. In this video, we are going to be writing an essay responding to an Accuplacer Writeplacer prompt. The essay should be from 300 to 600 words, and we're going to attempt writing an essay in 30 minutes. If this video is something that interests you, stay tuned. If not, I wish you well finding good videos on writing. And if you have some suggestions, I would love to see those YouTube videos or YouTube suggestions so I can learn from those fellow YouTubers. All right, if you are sticking it out with me, we're going to go ahead and start our timer to represent it as much as possible as it would be in a testing environment. So I put my timer for 30 minutes, and we're going to take a look at our prompt and immediately start our response to it. Should high school students be permitted to leave the school grounds to eat lunch? Take a position on the issue and explain it. Before I begin this essay, writers, I just want to let you know that um, obviously this is an argumentative prompt. And so we want to try to provide time to give a counter argument within our essay. And again, if we're going to do this in 30 minutes, I better go ahead and get started. What I'm imagining is perhaps a 1-2-1 or a 1-3-1, where I have a short introduction, I have a body paragraph, I take a counter argument position, then I have another body paragraph, and then a conclusion. Let's see if I can do that in 30 minutes. That's the key, doing it in 30 minutes and trying to do it within the 300 to 600 word parameters as well. So I definitely believe that high school students should be allowed to leave lunch for school. And part of that is because I have looked at the student lunch menu and I am not very impressed. I think about what I had when I was in school for lunch, and I just feel like it's quite boring. It is monotonous as far as the day-to-day meals that they serve students, and I frankly think it's quite unhealthy. Um, and some may argue, yeah, but so is leaving school for lunch. Um, I'm not so sure it's any less healthy to go to a fast food restaurant as it is in the lunchroom, and considering all the snacks that they have. As far as they do have the vending machines. Now, those are typically, and by federal law in the United States, those must be shut off during actual lunch. But I, what I find is that the school lunch, then the cafeteria ends up selling those same exact items, like the potato chips and the chocolate bars, etc. So again, I'm excited to really attempt this prompt because it is something that I definitely think is an issue in this country. And I really feel as if students should have more options in what they can eat in high school. And the idea of them leaving school campus to go eat lunch, to me sounds like a fabulous idea. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this prompt, and I'm going to say that yes, they should. They should be allowed to eat lunch off campus. Now I can tell you I have 26 minutes and 55 seconds remaining, writers. So let me go ahead and paste this and say, again, I can go first person because it is an opinion, it's an argumentative essay. Therefore, I absolutely, or I'm not going to be so adamant about it, at least not now. Therefore, I do believe that high school students should be permitted to leave the school grounds to eat lunch. Okay, so that is my last sentence in my introduction. And I'm going to begin with basically like a cafeteria menu, and start with that. Um, and I'm going to go ahead and do this, writers, just so we sort of have a break off here, break between these two um, Could have just had Google do a vertical or a horizontal line, but that's okay. So let's take a look at how I might begin here. Um, have you, um, when was the last time? Maybe I'll start with that. When was the last time you examined, you closely examined a cafeteria, school cafeteria menu? When was the last time you closely examined a school cafeteria menu? If you took a look at the monthly menu, because ours comes out monthly. If you took a look at the monthly menu at my high school, you might be surprised at all the unhealthy junk, unhealthy. I'm not going to say jump. I'm going to be more formal because junk sounds informal, right, writers. So I'm glad I sort of did that as a non example. Again, especially with the Accuplacer Writeplacer. When was the last time you closely examined a school cafeteria menu? If you took a look at the monthly menu at my high school, you might be surprised at all the unhealthy options available for young people. For instance, um, on Tuesdays, students have the option of fried taquitos with beans and rice, or Fritos or a bag of Fritos with, I think that should be, maybe that's an apostrophe. I'm going to just go with corn chips or a bag of corn chips with melted cheddar cheese with beans and rice. Okay, I think I'm already noticing, right, writers, that it's almost like I'm building a body paragraph. So I think I'm going to put that down here. And again, you can catch yourself and go, wait a second, that should be in the body paragraph. So let me just say, um, if you took a look at the monthly menu, you'd be surprised, might be surprised again at the all the unhealthy options available for young people. Therefore, I do believe that high school students should be permitted to leave the school grounds to eat lunch. I think I'm just going to go with that because I'm describing already unhealthy options, and I haven't even gotten to Wednesday, where it's pretty much pizza and corn. So let me go ahead and go with, therefore, I do believe that high school students should be permitted to leave the school grounds to eat lunch. Um, Trying to think of how to begin that. I'm just gonna go ahead while I'm thinking about it. I need an introduction sentence here, an introductory sentence in this body paragraph. Um, So I'm just kind of making a note, right, writers? But for the sake of time, I already know I want to go to Wednesday. Meanwhile, on Wednesdays, on Wednesdays, you can students can load up on pizza and corn. Other days, um, student options include chicken nuggets with tater tots, and of course, burgers and fries on, let me go with some days or during some days of the week. Student options include chicken nuggets with tater tots and, of course, burgers and fries on other designated days. You notice how this is not much different than what a student might find at a fast food restaurant. So I'm arguing first the unhealthy options. And for instance, on Tuesdays, students have the option of fried taquitos with beans and rice or a bag of corn chips with melted cheddar cheese with beans and rice. With again, beans and rice. Meanwhile, on Wednesdays, students can load up on pizza and corn. During other days of the week, with again, beans and rice. During other days of the week, student options include chicken nuggets with tater tots and, of course, burgers and fries. And, of course, burgers and fries. You notice how this menu, how this school menu, school cafeteria menu, is not much different than what a student, or I'll just say, notice how this school cafeteria menu is not much different than what a student might find at a food restaurant. Critics, or you can also say something like naysayers, um, 16 minutes and 58 seconds remaining, right, writers. Critics may argue that allowing students to leave the school grounds to eat lunch. Allowing students to leave the school grounds to eat lunch could result in more, could become a safety issue, and I'll get into that, right, riders. As far as like driving in and out of the parking lots, students rushing back to get to school, maybe increased tardies and absences could become a safety issue or a could become a safety or a truancy issue. So by truancy, again, I'm talking about just leaving school and not coming back. And maybe I'll avoid right now tardies to class. So critics may argue that, um, or critics who argue that the options at school are much healthier, food options at school are much healthier. Critics who argue that the food options at school are much healthier need to really look, need to take a look at what students are actually being served in the lunchroom. In addition, others may point out or may highlight, I'll say point out instead, that allowing students to leave school grounds to eat lunch could become a safety or a truancy issue, could become a safety issue because students would be leaving in droves. I'll save that for a second sentence, right, writers. In addition, others may point out that allowing students to leave school grounds to eat lunch could become a safety issue. However, if schools limited who could leave campus to perhaps juniors and seniors, it would mitigate such concerns. Furthermore, most high schools have multiple lunches and they're staggered. So, have staggered multiple lunches, multiple lunch schedules. So, right, writers, again, when we're bringing up that counter argument, we want to bring up the counter argument to then oppose the counter argument within the same paragraph. So 12 minutes and 41 seconds remaining, right, writers? Multiple staggered lunch schedules. Lunch schedules, so students would not be leaving all at once, exiting the campus all at once. For those who may argue, may highlight truancy concerns, whereby students leave campus. For those who may highlight truancy concerns, whereby students leave campus and do not return to their and do not return to school. I think I'll say then, or indeed some opponents will argue, will highlight truancy concerns, whereby students leave campus never to return. While I do understand such while I do understand this argument, I'm thinking of this idea of 10 minutes remaining, right, writers, of this idea of autonomy and just allowing students the opportunity, because in a workplace environment, in some workplaces, you're allowed to leave lunch or have your lunch and then go back to work. And so I feel like it also demonstrates responsibility, accountability, and autonomy. So I think there's something to be said about that, right, writers. So I'm trying to think of how to say that. While I do understand this argument, one could also Um, one could also, while I do understand this argument, allowing students to leave campus provides young people with a sense of responsibility, of autonomy, responsibility, and accountability. And I could say something like, while I do understand this argument, allowing students to leave campus provides young people with a sense of autonomy, responsibility, and accountability. Such skills In addition, such skills, these skills will be needed when they enter the workforce. Okay, 7 minutes and 49 seconds remaining, right, writers? I need an introductory sentence up here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this because I've got just a few minutes remaining and I don't want to run out of time, right, writers? Um, okay, therefore, okay, I'm going to borrow that. That's sort of my thesis here. If you took a look at the month, um, to eat lunch. Okay, going back here to eat lunch. If you took a look at the monthly menu at my high school, you might be surprised at all the unhealthy options available for young people. In addition, allowing students to leave campus and looking at what I said earlier about will provide young people with the skills they need when they enter the workforce. In addition, allowing students to leave campus um, I think I'm going to save autonomy for the end, a sense of responsibility and accountability. And then here I can say allowing students to leave campus. provides them with a sense of autonomy, provides them or gives them the autonomy to make good choices. In addition, allowing students to leave campus gives them the autonomy to make good choices. Gives them the autonomy they will need as adults. Gives them the autonomy they will need as adults. Okay, right, writers. I've got 4 minutes and 41 seconds remaining. Still need an introductory sentence up here. A week, typical week might surprise you. I want something like that. Might again, I said surprise before, so maybe I'll say might alarm you. A typical lunch served during the week might alarm you. Typical lunch served during the week might alarm you. For instance, on Tuesdays, okay, that sounds a little bit better. And then notice how this school cafeteria menu is not much different than what a student might find at a fast food restaurant. Um, these skills will be needed when they enter the workforce. Just kind of skimming here, right, writers, as I've got 3 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. And I want to bring up this idea of healthy options for students and vegan students because they could also go home and eat something even healthier. So, therefore, I do believe that high school students should be permitted to leave the school grounds to eat lunch. If you took a look, if you took a look at the monthly menu at my high school, you might be surprised at all the unhealthy options available for young people. In addition, allowing students to leave campus gives them the autonomy they will need as adults. Not only that, but students, however, that's not all. That is not all. For students who do eat healthy, so 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, right, writers. However, that is not all. That is not all. Um, students students who prefer healthier choices. However, that is not all. Students who prefer healthier options will have more than just pizza and corn to contend with. Or 1 minute remaining, right, writers, 1 minute 19, 17 seconds now. Students who prefer healthier options. However, that is not all. Students who prefer healthier options will have more than just tacos and pizza to eat. during the school day. However, that is not all. Students who prefer healthier options will have more than just tacos and pizza to eat during the school day. Okay, I like where that's going, right, writers? I have 30 seconds remaining. I'm just going to skim it real quick, one more time, just sort of not reading aloud here, just skimming it for any errors that I might have made. Um, might, and that's it, right, writers? All right, time's up. So I have, and again, this is one of my passions, right, writers? I mean, I was really able to attack this prompt because I strongly believe in it. Let's go ahead and do a word count and see how it went. And so let's do that now. How it went, and then we'll review the essay. I'm really hoping that I hit the word count needed to take a look and see, you know, um, hopefully I did, at least 300, 600 words somewhere in there. I feel like I did, but we'll find out. All right, 364 words. So that's enough to get me across the finish line as far as um, 300 words again in 30 minutes. So I'll go ahead and put that down here. Sorry, right writers. Apparently, it's like I can't seem to talk today. So, all right, let's take a look at the essay itself now and see what I have. Just checking for flow, and we'll just kind of go from there. Let's take the first paragraph here. When was the last time you closely examined a school cafeteria menu? If you took a look at the monthly menu at my high school, you might be surprised at all the unhealthy options available for young people. Therefore, I do believe that high school students should be permitted to leave the school grounds to eat lunch. Kept it brief, but I did highlight the unhealthy options, which I then begin addressing in the next body paragraph. Let's go to that one now. A typical lunch served during the week might alarm you. For instance, on Tuesdays, students have the option of fried taquitos with beans and rice, or a bag of corn chips with melted cheddar cheese with, again, beans and rice. Meanwhile, on Wednesdays, students can load up on pizza and corn. During other days of the week, student options include chicken nuggets with tater tots and, of course, burgers and fries. Notice how this school cafeteria menu is not much different than what a student might find at a fast food restaurant. And again, that's one of those that statement you could argue, shouldn't you put a question mark there? And I feel like this sentence could go either way. It could be a period or it could go with a question mark. Now let's take a look at the counter argument here. Critics who argue that the food options at school are much healthier need to take a look at what students are actually being served in the lunchroom. In addition, others may point out that allowing students to leave school grounds to eat lunch could become a safety issue. However, if schools limited who could leave campus to perhaps juniors and seniors, it would mitigate such concerns. Furthermore, most high schools have multiple staggered lunch schedules, so students would not be exiting the campus all at once. Indeed, other opponents might highlight truancy concerns, whereby students leave campus never to return. While I do understand this argument, allowing students to leave campus provides young people with a sense of responsibility and accountability. These skills will be needed when they enter the workforce. I felt like these counter arguments and this counter argument paragraph was really on point. I considered really on point and really. Apparently, I'm stuck on really this during this video, and I apologize for that, right writers. But I appreciated how I did consider the critics' counter arguments, and I did not just merely dismiss them. I addressed them one by one, and so that's one thing that I really like about that counter argument paragraph. Now for our conclusion. And looking at the transition here, these skills will be needed when they enter the workforce. Therefore, I do believe that high school students should be permitted to leave the school grounds to eat lunch. If you took a look at the monthly menu at my high school, I should maybe have said you would be surprised at all the unhealthy options available for young people. In addition, allowing students to leave campus gives them the autonomy they will need as adults. However, that is not all. Students who prefer healthier options will have more than just tacos and pizza to eat during the school day. And I wanted to bring that in, right, writers, because I love when a writer sort of goes full circle and brings up how they sort of began their argument. And again, this idea of, tacos and pizza and corn, I wanted to bring that back full circle um, at in the end. So, right, writers, give me your thoughts, your feedback on how you think this essay went. I'm pleased with what I created within a 30-minute time frame. I had hit 364 words. In addition, I had time to create a counter argument. And if you've seen some of my other videos, I would argue this is a pretty darn good essay. All right. Take care, writers. See you next Tuesday. Bye bye.